Hey, welcome to World Code Updates. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Breaking news. Manila draws a new line in the sand. The South China Sea is boiling over once again. Headlines flash. Philippines challenges China's maritime empire. At the heart of it all is a bold move by the Philippines, a new law, a new map, and a renewed determination to defend its sovereign rights. The world is watching. The region is holding its breath. Chinese Coast Guard vessels patrol waters claimed by the Philippines, using water cannons and dangerous maneuvers against Filipino boats. These are not isolated incidents, but part of a strategy of intimidation and control. China asserts its dominance through its infamous 9-dash line, a sweeping claim over nearly the entire South China Sea. But the Philippines is pushing back, not with warships, but with the power of international law and historical truth. This is a David versus Goliath story, a modest military standing up to a global superpower. The fight is for more than territory, it's for resources, livelihood, national identity, and the rule of law. The latest chapter, the 2024 Maritime Zones Act. This law is not a weapon of war, but a shield of legislation. It formally defines the country's maritime territories, including its exclusive economic zone, based on international law. It is a direct legal challenge to China's historical fantasies. The South China Sea is one of the world's most critical waterways. Trillions in trade pass through, and it's rich in fish, oil, and gas. Several nations have competing claims, but the China-Philippines conflict is the central flashpoint. With this new law, the Philippines is acting, not just talking. It is formalizing its claims, preparing to submit them to the United Nations, and sending a clear message. This is our water, and we will defend it. The stakes could not be higher. The tension is palpable, from Palawan to the Spratly Islands. The Philippines is standing up, not just for itself, but for the rule of law in Asia. What happens next could redefine the balance of power in the region. The world is watching, and the Philippines is ready. For the Philippines, an archipelago of over 7,600 islands, the sea is everything. The West Philippine Sea is the nation's lifeblood. Millions depend on its rich fishing grounds. These waters have provided for generations, shaping coastal communities and the national economy. Losing control would devastate food security and livelihoods. The seabed holds vast reserves of oil and natural gas, like the Reed Bank, crucial for energy independence. Yet, exploration is stalled by China's constant patrols and intimidation. Beyond resources, the sea is vital for national security, allowing the Navy and Coast Guard to protect borders and monitor maritime traffic. Foreign domination would undermine sovereignty and defense. Freedom of navigation is a security imperative, not just a commercial issue. The fight for the West Philippine Sea is about dignity and the right to exist without being bullied. It's about upholding a rules-based order where might does not make right. When Filipino fishermen are driven away, it's an affront to every citizen. This is not a distant dispute, it's a daily struggle for the nation's future and identity. The sea is the Philippines' past, present, and future. China's claim to the South China Sea is symbolized by a sweeping U-shaped line on its maps. Originally an 11-dash line from 1947, it became the 9-dash line in the 1950s, a vague claim to 90% of the sea. For decades, it was just a line on a map, but as China's power grew, so did its assertiveness. China built artificial islands, militarized them, and unveiled a new map in 2023 with a 10th dash near Taiwan. This move inflamed tensions, showing the line is about modern ambition, not just history. The 9-dash line disregards international law, especially UNCLOS, which China ratified. UNCLOS defines clear maritime zones, but China's claim is based on historic rights with no legal basis. The core conflict: China's historical fantasy versus modern international law. The world sees the line as a political fiction, not a legitimate claim. The Philippines and other nations are pushing back with law, not force. The dispute is about more than maps. It's about the future of the region. The battle is now between legal legitimacy and raw power. The Philippines grounds its claim in centuries of documented history. Ancient maps by Spanish, Dutch, and British cartographers depicted the South China Sea islands as part of the Philippine archipelago. The Murillo-Villard map of 1734, created by a Spanish Jesuit and Filipino artists, is the crown jewel. showing Scarborough Shoal as part of the Philippines. In 2012, a rare original was acquired and donated to the government, becoming a key piece of evidence. The map was Exhibit A in the Philippines' legal case at The Hague, directly contradicting China's claims. This historical evidence, combined with international law, formed a powerful argument. The World Court found it persuasive, history and law on the Philippines' side. Frustrated by China's aggression, the Philippines took China to court in 2013 under UNCLOS. China refused to participate, dismissing the case as a sham. The Hague Tribunal examined evidence for 3 years. The Philippines used historical maps and scientific data to debunk China's claims. In July 2016, the tribunal delivered a stunning victory for the Philippines. The ruling China's 9-dash line has no legal basis, and features like Mischief Reef are within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. The court condemned China's island building and interference. China rejected the verdict, but the ruling remains a powerful legal and diplomatic tool. The previous administration downplayed it, but the award did not disappear. It is now being leveraged by a government willing to use it. The legal victory is a permanent part of the international record. Enter the 2024 Maritime Zones Act, a game-changer. With diplomacy failing to deter China, the Philippines fortified its legal position. The new law defines the country's maritime entitlements in line with UNCLOS and the 2016 Hague ruling. It formalizes existing rights, not new claims. The act precisely defines internal waters, territorial sea, exclusive economic zone, and continental shelf. Every map, protest, and patrol is now backed by national law. The law empowers agencies to enforce Philippine rights and protect marine resources. It establishes official baselines, removing ambiguity. Most importantly, it mandates the government to submit its maritime limits to the United Nations. This includes a formal claim to an extended continental shelf. By codifying its claims, the Philippines moves from defense to proactive assertion. The law is a fortress around the 2016 legal victory. The Philippines is now ready to act on the world stage. The Maritime Zones Act gives legal definition to the West Philippine Sea. The government can now issue official maps, precisely delineating Philippine waters. These maps are a direct rebuttal to China's sweeping claims. The law covers resource-rich regions like Reed Bank and Scarborough Shoal, and parts of the Spratly Islands. By law, these are now explicitly part of the Philippines' maritime domain. The act also lays the groundwork for claiming an extended continental shelf under UNCLOS. Scientific surveys support this claim, and the law provides the impetus to submit it to the UN. Defining and mapping is crucial. Unclear claims are hard to defend. Official maps provide clarity for citizens, armed forces, and the world. Filipino fishermen know where they have rights, the Navy knows what to protect. The world, including China, now sees exactly where Philippine entitlements begin and end. There is no room for doubt. The Maritime Zones Act is a direct counter to China's 10-dash line. While China's map is unilateral and vague, the Philippine law is rooted in UNCLOS. By defining its zones, the Philippines exposes the 10-dash line as political fiction. Every Chinese incursion is now a violation of both Philippine and international law. This adds legal and diplomatic weight to every protest. The law also strengthens alliances. Partners like the US and Japan now support a nation defending zones defined by law. The dispute shifts from bilateral to a defense of the rules-based order. Other Southeast Asian claimants can follow this template. Law, not force. Overlaps with neighbors like Vietnam and Malaysia can be resolved peacefully under UNCLOS. The Philippines' strategy is a model for resisting expansionism. The legal checkmate is set. The world is watching how China responds. Armed with the Hague Award and the Maritime Zones Act, the Philippines has new options. The next step, deposit the law and maps with the United Nations, making claims internationally recognized. This strengthens the Philippines' hand in negotiations. Talks must be based on law, not China's fiction. Any joint development must respect Philippine rights. If diplomacy fails, further legal action is possible, seeking damages for environmental or economic harm. Each case pressures China to defend its actions or face global criticism. The Philippines' legal strategy rallies allies and ASEAN partners. A united front makes it harder for China to ignore the rules. The path is long but guided by law, not power. The future of the West Philippine Sea depends on collective resolve and the rule of law.